A good while back, I wrote my review of Hellmart, and you can find the video in the description below. To keep it short and relevant, I ended the review by saying I would revisit the game once they added in the expanded shop mode, and as of this month, they finally did just that. And I played it. And now I'm giving my impressions, here, on YouTube. Expanded mode is exactly the shop simulator that I asked for when I wrote my review, both for good and for bad. Expanded mode unlocks after beating the story mode at least once, and there are 2 difficulty options that I'll go into in just a minute. But whichever you choose, the goal is to survive 30 days and nights in the Hellmart. Every day you get new products to stock on the shelf and your sales quota goes up. The difficulty mode is between easy and hard. On easy mode, your quota goes up slow, the nights are calm, and death sets you back to a checkpoint. On hard mode, the quota goes up fast, nights are hard, and death deletes your save. I naturally chose hard and decided I'd play as far as I could get before commenting, and I got to day 15 before the game just randomly killed me and ended the run. Another big change in expanded mode is having access to all the funds from your sales and having to buy the inventory yourself. I love expanded mode because it heavily changes the store gameplay. Having to buy the shelf stock yourself gives an element of balance that didn't really exist in the story mode, where your warehouse just filled every day on its own. Do you keep the store well stocked as possible at the cost of not affording upgrades nearly as quickly, or do you run the risk of not having a product someone wants in order to afford useful stuff for the night mode? Personally, I immediately went for 3 upgrades as quickly as I could. The tip jar for more money, the security alarm to stop shoplifters since that's now money taken directly out of my pocket, and the first upgrade for the generator to use less gas and break less often. And then once I started getting more products, I bought the shelf upgrades to give me 6 shelves in each section. You're still expected to stock everything that is viable or customers will complain and you'll lose revenue, and revenue is a lot more important here because your sales quota goes up every single day for 30 days instead of 5. You'll get familiar elements from the story mode, like never agreeing to give this guy cigarettes because he'll rob you blind once you turn around. Karen is back and just as horrible as ever, increasing your quota multiple times every time she shows up to keep her happy. But the extra attention to money also changes how you view certain events. For example, the lady who comes in the store crying and peeing all over the floor was a nuisance in the story mode that you would deliberately bump into to get the jump scare, so she runs off screaming. However, every puddle you clean up gives you 25 cents, and letting her walk around for a while and cleaning up as she goes would net you a few extra couple bucks towards your budget. And very rarely does one get to consider the profit motive of letting a customer piss all over the floor. The same goes for night mode, which is basically now a money generating scheme where you find anomalies and smack the big arm with a hatchet for quarters. It does get pretty stressful at times, I'll cop to that. Hellmart still has that element of, is it a bug or intended feature? For example, I spent money on the security alarm upgrade that should set off an alarm whenever someone tries to shoplift. It never went off, meaning either the game never put in the thief, or I'm being robbed blind and the alarm doesn't work again after the last update. Selling cigarettes was actually a risk in the story mode because the customer might actually be a scary demon that spooks you when you turn back around, but again, that never happened, and I'm not sure if it's intentional. And then on day 15, I died out of nowhere during my day shift. The only possible answer I've seen is that my generator broke and I didn't notice, but I had the level 3 upgrade, meaning the generator should never break, and I never had an indication that it did, meaning I threw away half the extended mode because the game bugged out. Again. And I know it didn't run out of gas because I top up the gas every single day. And the game probably bugged out on the generator because I had to reboot it because the customer interaction broke the game for me a few minutes prior on the same day shift. My biggest problem with Hellmart is the devs' either disinterest or inability to fix big bugs. I expect a little more for 15 bucks. Also, the performance is still shit and I'm playing this on a 5070 now. Once they fix the bugs and wring out the micro stutters, Hellmart will be a much better game. Until then, you can like and subscribe for more videos.